Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about Pluto. Yes, Pluto is in Aquarius. It's been in Aquarius since the 20th of November last year. So maybe it's interesting to have a look at what it has to say. When the moon reaches the position of Pluto, it's going to trigger its energy, which is the energy of regeneration, transformation, deep transformation. So maybe it announces a new life for you. Who knows? Let's have a look at the chart. Here is the chart with the moon and Pluto here at 1 degree and 24 minutes. Pluto is retrograde, but it's not going to return in Capricorn like it did twice before. It's going to remain in Aquarius. You see, there is a nice link here with Neptune. More or less with Saturn, but Saturn is a bit so-so because it's what we call a false aspect. So it's not going to be very strong. But still, it's, has something to say, perhaps. And there is a nice link with the Sun. This is a trine. And that trine is going to perdure at least for the whole following day, because that is October 1, and it is 22:30, which is 10:30 at night, universal time. So in France, for example, it will be already the 2nd of October at midnight and 30 minutes, so 0 hour and 30 minutes in the morning. But where you are, you need to work it out. Because it may be a moment to choose, to decide something, to make a move. The link with the Sun is pretty positive because the Sun is life. And when the moon and the Sun are in harmony with one another, it enhances our vital force, vital energy, and it allows us to deal with sensitive subjects better. Although there is a square here with Mars. That's a discordance. So some of us may feel quite tensed and with a need to retaliate against something that may have been not so nice. There is a need here to control, because the discordance between Mars and Pluto can render one quite destructive. Now, you could be yourself destructive, but you could also become victim of someone with a destructive sort of behavior. So we need to make sure we're not in the wrong place at the wrong time, especially on that day, actually. Now, Mars is in Scorpio, and Scorpio is the sign that is linked to Pluto because Pluto represents this sign. So, of course, that makes this relationship much stronger. It means that Mars is transiting through Pluto's home, more or less. And because Pluto is not in a good mood, it may find it quite odd that Mars is traveling through his place. So there will be tension. And you will probably witness some reactions from various people around you. On that particular day and time, it may be more sensitive to try and control one's emotions, yours or anybody else's. But the moon is not going to remain very long where it is there at 1 degree and 24 minutes. It takes the moon 2 hours to approximately 2 hours to travel 1 degree in the sign, in a sign around the zodiac. So I would imagine that this energy of the moon is still going to perdure for about half the day until approximately midday. But that is, of course, universal time. And that's midday on the 2nd of October, not the 1st, right? Because the conjunction occurs very late at night. Unless, of course, if you live west of the universal timeline, you'll have to deduct some hours. So that may bring you to the evening or late afternoon. And that's when, actually, the energy of the moon is going to become quite strong. Being in Aquarius, it is linked to Uranus, which is here in Gemini and in harmony with Pluto. So that will compensate for the troublesome transit of Mars in Scorpio. It will compensate because it will allow you, and myself as well, to adapt quickly and to adapt in a positive manner. You know, it's not like you want to defend yourself because you're attacked or feel that you're attacked. No, you just move away from trouble. That's it. And you don't want to get involved into anything drastic. Neptune is there as well in harmony with Pluto and the moon to bring that extra dimension to your ability to appreciate what is going on. That is what I call the spiritual dimension of life, to which we are all connected. And it's very important to keep connected with that higher self that is actually looking after us much more than we imagine often. It's like our guardian angel. So you can ask anything to this entity. And in time, you will obtain what you want if you are sincere, if you are authentic, and of course, if you are reasonable. But Neptune is going to have a positive effect on the energy of Mars because of the inconjunct you see here. So that will tend to postpone the reaction or retaliation that Mars can represent, so that anyone concerned could sort of take a few steps back and, reflect on the possible consequences of what may occur if Mars is allowed to express itself like the god of war knows how to do. Note that Mars is the god of war and Pluto is the god of death. So when they are not so friendly with one another, it increases the anger and the need actually to fight. And that's what we have witnessed in some countries. Unfortunately, at the moment, it has become quite difficult for some people who are not involved in any way in the conflicts that are occurring here and there in the world. So let's make sure that we are in control of our own self, and by the same token, in control of the other person who may suddenly feel the need to be aggressive toward us. So just relax, take it easy, and always remember that whatever the transit announces, a transit by definition is not something that's going to last. Some last longer than others because the planets are very slow, but Mars is not. So Mars is going to travel through Scorpio, and the square is going to disappear slowly. And even on that day and time, it's not going to be that strong because you see it's at 6 degrees and 30 minutes in Scorpio, whereas the Moon and Pluto are at 1 degree. So there is still, an orb, as we call it, which is going to widen as time goes by. As, on a daily basis, Mars is going to travel through this sign. So hang on to what you believe in, which should be, honestly, that's what I think anyway, which should be positive. And with a type of compassion that you can show to those who are angry at you, perhaps, or get angry or get annoyed by your own self, people are sometimes very nervous, very impatient. So don't be like that, try and put your foot on the brakes. Saturn represents the brakes. So Saturn is there to remind you that anything you do wrong will have consequences. Think about that. And then October 1st or October 2nd will be a nice day for you. And if you want to regenerate somehow some area of your life, if you want to change or if you have the opportunity to do so, go for it, because that will allow you to bypass the potentially troublesome energy of Mars or influence of this planet. So keep away from trouble and you should be okay. You should be even perhaps favored very much so by the Sun, by Uranus, by Neptune and Saturn, and by Pluto, because this triangle here, we could make a link here with the Sun as well. It's a bit wide, but still, it's the Sun, So that makes a wide triangle, which is an air triangle, allowing you to communicate better, to think better as well, in a more positive manner. And that's going to help for sure on that day, around that time, but on the following day as well. So look after yourself and those you love, and see you soon in another short video that I'll make about the next transit of the Moon that will be interesting enough to analyze. See you soon then. Bye for now. All the best.